and welcome to another episode of Behind the Bin, where we go behind the proverbial trash bin and we break down some of the builds we do here at Puppet Trash. My name is John Steiger. I am the garbage guy here at Puppet Trash. This week I took a broken squeeze mop handle and I turned it into a giraffe. But in this episode we're gonna break down some of the good, some of the bad, some of the fun, some of the not so fun. So let's go behind the bin and check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4!
Yeah.
And without any further ado, here is our giraffe puppet. Now this is a very unique build and we're actually going to properly break this giraffe down just because there have been a lot of technical issues with it. I don't think I'll be reusing it, unfortunately. So you will see this puppet get deconstructed right before your eyes. In the arms of the angel. So let's start with the material. Everything you kind of see on the surface is essentially brown butcher packing paper. It's just, I thought it would be really good to use because of the mechanic that I wanted to use for this. I thought it would be very flexible and movable, and it was to an extent, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in terms of the mechanics. Not in terms of the paper. The mechanics were a source of grief. But just the exterior here, it's all just brown butcher paper, blended well with sort of the coloring or the idea of a giraffe. It was also easy to draw on all the spots with Sharpie when it was just paper, because it was just, you can draw on paper. And the ears are more of that butcher paper, the eyelids are butcher paper. It's all pretty much just butcher paper. I had a lot of it, it's easy to find, and it's very, very versatile. The eyes are just empty Lush sample pots, so they're the tiny little sample pots that you can get from Lush. Giraffes have these really big, sort of spacey eyes, and I thought that this worked out really, really well for them. They're a little too lifeless, I think, but I think they get that sense of scale a little bit to this build. When we flip it around, these two little nodules here, these are called the ossicones of the giraffe. Definitely didn't have to look that up on Google. The exterior of these are egg carton holder, so if, like a plastic egg carton, these are one of those little things that the egg sits in, and then inside is just scrap black fabric that's just kind of stuffed in there. And then it's lifted up by a series of cardboard platforms. So I just stacked up a bunch of cardboard pieces to give it that height so that it could pop over the ears, which ended up becoming a lot bigger than I was hoping they would. Now the big source of inspiration for this, the big piece of trash, is in here. The whole body rests on this pole. This is the handle. It goes all the way up here, and I'll show it once we kind of deconstruct it a little bit. But this is a handle to a squeeze mop, so like a Swiffer squeeze mop. Somebody had left the top half of it in a random place. So I grabbed it and I thought, oh, this might be a good deer. I originally thought it was gonna be a deer puppet. It's so long. It would have been the weirdest looking deer on the planet Earth. So I thought, hey, long, tall neck, giraffe, boom, done, print it, make it. And we kind of did that. The main source of inspiration for this was the mop handle. And one of the big reasons was because it's a squeeze mop, there's a lower handle here that moves and could allow for jaw movement. Now, originally to make the jaw move without seeing my hand too much, I used this piece of coat wire. And it went right up into the neck here. It went up into the neck here, and all the way here, and it was glued to the base of the jaw there, and I could move it pretty easily. However, because it was just loosely glued in there, after filming with it for a little while, this eventually broke off. And it's too difficult to kind of go back up in there and reattach this without basically taking everything apart. I lucked out in the construction, and there was a little bit of an excess flap here that used the same motion. So that's what I ended up doing. In some of the videos you can kind of see my hand hiding a little bit there, but the motion works really, really well as I kind of intended before the big snap of the giraffe debacle. So that's the material, that's sort of the mechanism that we were using for this build, and I'll just go ahead and just see if I can lightly, well, lightly, as genteel as possible, kind of reveal that handle to you. Oop, that's about as gentle as it's gonna get, folks. All right, it's all glued on here, but yeah, literally this is all this is. So it's just paper wrapped around the handle there, little face there, and then let me see, oh, there goes the jaw, but that's the lower jaw there. And so now you kind of get how this whole thing works. The way that the handle goes, so this is me holding the handle at an angle, but if I hold it straight up, that focus is all over the place. So I really had to work to make the focus work. Like even now, it's very difficult to point and direct and move in a natural way. So the base piece of trash was a little bit more of a hindrance than a help in this aspect. But all in all, I do think we got the idea across, and that's all that matters. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode of Behind the Bin. As always, I wanna thank you so much for sticking around and watching. Not my favorite build, but even in the not so favorite moments, there are things that we can find and glean and pass on to the next build and learn from. It's all just one big learning experience. But if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give us a like. If you wanna see more of some of this crazy content, hit that subscribe button with the bell icon so you get notified of all the stuff that we do. We're doing so much stuff. And if there's a style of puppetry you want me to try, or if there's a special piece of garbage in your life you want to see turned into a puppet, leave a comment down below. Let me know. I'm curious to see what you guys think. So as always, my friends, stay cool, stay kind, stay creative, stay safe, and I will see you next time. 1, 2, 3, 4!